By his grace one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from the lotus mouth. Attachment to the lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth, from whom ecstatic frame remains. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy. Lord and the Lord and Master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Rishutarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vatsadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padama Kevala Bhakti Sadama. Kevala Bhakti Sadama. Shri Guru Charana Padama Kevala Bhakti Sadama. Kevala Bhakti Sadama. Bandha mui savadana mate. Bandha mui savadana mate. Yahara prasade bhai e bhavatori aja. Jahara prasade bha ebhavaturiyaja. Krishna prati ho jaha hote. Krishna prati ho jaha hote. Guru mukha padama vakya itete koriya kya. Guru mukha padama vakya itete koriya kya. Adana kori ho mane asha. Adana kori ho mane asha. Guru charane rati etsa uttama gati. Shri Guru charane rati etsa uttama gati. Ye prasade pure savo asha. Ye prasade pure savo asha. Purana dilo janme janme prabhu se. Chakudan dilo ye janme janme prabhu se. Divya gyana hriday prakashita. Divya gyana hriday prakashita. Prema bhakti jatya vidya vinasha jate. Prema bhakti jatya vidya vinasha jate. Mere gaja har charita. Mere gaja har charita. Guru karuna sindhu adhama janara bandhu. Guru karuna sindhu adhama janara bandhu. Lokanath lokara jivana. Lokanath lokara jivana. Prabhu kora daya deho more pada chaya. Prabhu kora daya deho more pada chaya. Ha Prabhu karo daya deho more par chaya. Ha Prabhu karo daya deho more par chaya. Ebe jati sutri bhuvana. Ila Prabhupada Putika Pavana. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivraj Kacharya Ashtotarashta Shri Simaresi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivraj Kacharya Ashtotarashta Shri Simad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। नूरमनवेती धाम की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। यमुना माई की जय। गंगा माई की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। समवेता भक्त वृंद की जय। Agavesdi Asamalevati, Agavesdi Asamalevati, Agavesdi Asamalevati, Agavesdi Shri Shri Guru Gaurango. Absolutely. Namamishwaram Sachiranandadupam Rasat Kundalam Gaure Brajamanam Sachiranandadupam Rasat Kundalam Gaure Brajamanam Yashoda Viyolukala Davamanam Puram Ishtamatyanta Tudutya Bhukyam Rudantamoho netra yugmam vijantam Paramboja yugmena satam ganetram Muhuswasa kampa trirekanka kanta Sita drivam damodaram bhakti bodham Iti trikswa lila bhirananda kunde Swagosham nimajantam akyapayantam Todiyeshitanyeshu bhaktajitatam Puna primatastam sutavitti vande Varam deva moksham na mokshavadim va Nuchanyam vrineham vorishadapiha Idam deva punata gopala bhalam Sodami manasya virastam kimanya Idam te mukambojam atyanta nila Vritam kuntala snigdha raktaisya gopya Muhusyambitam bimborukthadharam me Manasya virastamalam lukshalabhai Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jalabdi Moganam Kripadrishti vrishyati dinam bhutanu Grihani shamamagyam idyaksi drishyam Uveratma Jabodha Mutyaiva Yadva Oya Mochita Bhakti Bhajau Kritau Cha Uta prema bhaktim swakami prayascha Namukshi mesti dhamodareha Namaste Sudhamne Suradipidhamne Bodhiyodarayato Vishwasya Dhame Namo Radhikaya Todiya Priyaya Namo Nandalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita. Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada. Shri Radha Damodar ki jai. To the Supreme Controller who possesses an eternal form of blissful knowledge, whose glistening earrings swing to and fro, who manifested himself in Gokula, who stole the butter that the gopis kept hanging from the rafters of their storerooms, and who then quickly jumped up and ran in retreat in fear of Mother Yashoda, but was ultimately caught. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Upon seeing his mother's whipping stick, he cried and rubbed his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes were fearful and his breathing quick, and his mother Yashoda bound his belly with ropes. He shivered in fright, and his pearl necklace shook. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, who was bound with his devotees' love, I offer my humble obeisances. Those super excellent pastimes of Lord Krishna's babyhood drowned the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy. To the devotees who are attracted only to his majestic aspect of Narayan and Vaikuntha, the Lord herein reveals, I am conquered and overwhelmed by pure loving devotion. To the Supreme Lord Damodar, my obeisances hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for liberation, nor eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon. My only prayer is that your childhood pastimes may constantly appear in my mind. O Lord, I do not even want to know your feature of Paramatma. I simply wish that your childhood pastimes may ever be enacted in my heart. O Lord, the cheeks of your blackish lotus face, which is encircled by locks of curling hair, have become reddened like bimba fruit due to Mother Yashoda's kisses. What more can I describe than this? Millions of opulences are of no use to me, but may this vision constantly remain in my mind. O unlimited Vishnu, O Master, O Lord, be pleased upon me. I am drowning in an ocean of sorrow, and am almost like a dead man. Please shower the rain of mercy on me. Uplift me and protect me with your nectarian vision. O Lord Damodar, in your form as a baby, Mother Yashoda bound you to a grinding storm with a rope for tying cows. You then freed the sons of Kuvera, Manigriva, and Nalakuvara, who were cursed to stand as trees, and you gave them the chance to become your devotees. Please bless me in this same way. I have no desire for liberation into your presence. O Lord, the entire universe was created by Lord Brahma, who was born in abdomen, which was bound with a rope by Mother Yashoda. To this rope I offer my humble obeisances. I offer my obeisances to your most beloved Srimati Radharani and to your unlimited pastime. Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki jai. Shri Shri Radhe Shyam ki jai, Kartik Vrat ki jai. So I'll read from Krishna book, chapter 9. Mother Yashoda could understand that Krishna was unnecessarily afraid, and for his benefit she wanted to allay all fears. Being the topmost well-wisher of her child, Mother Yashoda thought, if the child is too fearful of me, I don't know what will happen to him. Mother Yashoda then threw away her stick. In order to punish him, she thought to bind his hands with some ropes. She did not know it, but it was actually impossible for her to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mother Yashoda was thinking that Krishna was her tiny child. She did not know that a child had no limitation. There is no inside or outside of him, nor beginning or end. He is unlimited and all-pervading. Indeed, he is himself the whole cosmic manifestation. Still, Mother Yashoda was thinking of Krishna as her child. Although he is beyond the reach of all senses, she endeavored to bind him to a wooden grinding mortar. But when she tried to bind him, she found that the rope she was using was too short, by 2 inches. She gathered more ropes from the house and added to it, but still she found the same shortage. In this way, she connected all the ropes available at home, but when the final knot was added, she saw that the rope was still 2 inches too short. Mother Yashoda was smiling, but she was astonished. How was it happening? She asked. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So there are a few announcements. First is we have 2 new initiates. 2 new devotees got initiation last night by Bhakti Marg Maharaj. Bhakta Scott became Shashwata Das, and Mother Nirmal Vardan from Tampa area, she became Namamrita Devi Dasi. Congratulations to them. It is described in the Nectar of Devotion, the introduction to Nectar of Devotion, that at the time of initiation, that's actually the date that one joins the parampara system. So it's actually a very serious commitment, and those who are able to take it up, it is very wonderful to actually take vows. We could be chanting for a long time, but when you take vows, that's when you actually get serious. So, okay, Halloween, Friday night, if you are making cookies or you like to offer some prasadam for distribution, wrapped candy prasadam, that also is good because some people don't take the homemade cookies. So if you have any of those, please bring them and give to Gandharvika at the temple. There is a Gainesville Festival of Art and Music coming up. It's a weekend, 8th of November and 8th and 9th of November. That's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's a 2-day event, so we need a lot of devotees to sign up for the book table. Please see Mother Sri Vrindavan for that. They're expecting more than 100,000 people at that. Jacksonville Harinam on Saturday. That's from 3 to 5. We leave here at 1. No, sorry, it's 1 to 3. We leave here at 11 that morning. So if you like to go, please sign up on the bulletin board. I'll have that sheet on there today. And today, Bhakta Nile, who is visiting from Ireland, he was here at the temple for a couple of weeks. So he will be leaving today. So I'd like to thank him very much for all his services. He really liked to do service, and he has a wonderful service attitude. Today, the ghee lamps were sponsored by Jayanti Bhakti for her son Gopal's 21st birthday. So let's pray to the deities to grant and award pure devotional service to Gopal. Haribol. And Dharmaraj Prabhu will give class today. Here are the devotees who assisted their guru in dressing the deities. Sri Sri Radhe Shyam were dressed by Mother Lakshmi Muni. Chota Radhe Shyam by Mother Guru Prasad. Sri Sri Krishna Balaram by Mother Jai Gauri. Chota Krishna Balaram, Mother Prema Manjari. Sri Sri Gaurnitai, Mother Devaki. Chota Gaurnitai by Ramanya Prabhu. Gurus and Lord Nrsingadev by Krishna Kripa Moy Prabhu. And we got news that the director of Food for Life of the whole world, Priyavrata Prabhu, will be in the area. We'll let you know when he will be speaking tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari
Jamunatira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajakacharya Astora Sata Sri Srimadi's Divine Grace Abhay Charnar Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sri Ganga Mai Ki Jai Sri Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Your Lordship Sri Sri Radha Shyam Sundar Ki Jai Your Lordship Sri Sri Krishna Balaram Ki Jai Your Lordship Sri Sri Gaunitai Ki Jai Lordship Sri Sri Lakshmana Shingadev Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Damodar Ki Jai Take all Premanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Gauranga Ranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we'll be reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 52, entitled Rukmini's Message to Krishna. So we'll be doing about 17 verses 18 through 35. So together, responsively, we can do 18, and then simultaneously we can do the others. So it's 18. Sri Rajuvacha Bhagavan Bhishmaka Sutam Rukminim Ruchirananam Rakshashena Vidanena Upayema Iti Sutam Bhagavan Bhishmaka Sutam Rukminim Ruchirananam Rakshashena Vidanena Upayema Iti Sutam Bhagavan Bhishmaka Sutam Rukminim Ruchirananam Rakshashena Vidanena Upayema Itim Sutam. Please chant. Bhagavan Bhishmaka Sutam Rukminim Ruchirananam Rakshasena Vidanena Upayema Iti Sutam. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhagavan Bhishmaka Sutam Rukminim Ruchirananam Rakshasena Vidanena Upayema Iti Sutam. Shri Rajuvacha Bhagavan Vishmaka Shutam Rukminim Ruchirananam Rakshashena Vidanena Upayema iti Shutam. Mothers? Okay. So we can do the word for word. Sri Rajuvacha, the king Parikshit Maharaj said, Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, Bhishmaka Sutam, the daughter of Bhishmaka, Rukminim, Srimati Rukmini Devi, Ruchira, charming, Ananam, whose face, Rakshashena, call Rakshasas, Vidanena, by the method, namely by kidnapping, Upayeme, he married, Iti, thus, Shutam, heard. Translation and purports by his disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. King Parikshit said, the Supreme Lord married Rukmini, the beautiful-faced daughter of Bhishmaka, in a Rakshasa style, or so I have heard. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami quoted the following Smriti statement. Rakshasho Yuddha Haranat. A Rakshasa marriage takes place when the bride is stolen from one's rival suitors by force. Similarly, Sukadev Goswami himself has already said, Ragya Pramata, Krishna had to beat down opposing kings to take Rukmini. 19 we'll do together. Bhagavan Shrotamichami Krishnasya Mita Tejasa Yata Maga Shalvadin Jitva Kamyamupaharat. Translation. My Lord, I wish to hear how the immeasurably powerful Lord Krishna took away his bride while defeating such kings as Magadha and Shalva. Purport. We should not think that Sri Krishna was actually afraid of Jarasandha. In the very next chapter, we will find that Sri Krishna easily defeats Jarasandha and his soldiers. Thus, we should never doubt the supreme prowess of Lord Krishna. 20. Brahman Krishna Kata Punya Madhvir Loka Malapaha Konu Treyai Srinava Shrutagno Nityanutana. Translation. What experienced listener, O Brahmana, could ever grow satiated while listening to the pious, charming, and ever-fresh topics of Lord Krishna, which cleanse away the world's contamination? 21. Sri Badarayani Ruchacha Rajasid Bhishmako Nama Vidarbha Dipatir Mahan Tasya Pancha Bhavan Putra Kanyaika Cha Varanana. Translation. Sri Badarayani said, there was a king named Bhishmaka, the powerful ruler of Vidarbha. He had 5 sons and 1 daughter of lovely countenance. 22. Rukmya Garajo Rukmarato Rukma Bahur Anantara Rukma Kesha Rukma Mali Rukmi Esha Swasati. Translation. Rukmi was the firstborn son, followed by Rukmarat, Rukma Bahu, Rukma Kesha, and Rukma Mali. Their sister was the exalted Rukmini. 23. Supasrucha mukundasya rupa virya gunashriya grihagate giyamanas tamene sadarshanampati. Hearing of the beauty, prowess, transcendental character, and opulence of Mukunda from visitors to the palace who sang his praises, Rukmini decided that he would be the perfect husband for her. Purport. The word Sadrasham indicates that Rukmini and Sri Krishna had similar qualities and thus were naturally attracted to each other. King Bhishmaka was a pious man, and therefore many spiritually advanced persons must have visited his palace. These saintly persons undoubtedly preached openly about the glories of Sri Krishna. 24. Tambudi lakshano darya rupa shila gunashrayam krishnascha sadrasim bharyam samudvodu manodade. Lord Krishna knew that Rukmini possessed intelligence, auspicious bodily markings, beauty, proper behavior, and all other good qualities. Concluding that she could be an ideal wife for him, he made up his mind to marry her. Purport. Just as Lord Krishna was described as Sudrasham Patim, an ideal husband for Rukmini, being just like her, Rukmini is described as Sadrasim Bharyam, an ideal wife for Sri Krishna, being just like him. That is natural, since Srimati Rukmini is Lord Krishna's internal potency. 25. Banduna michatam datum Krishnaya bhaginim ripa tato nivarya Krishnan vid Rukmini Nanam. Because Rukmi envied the Lord, O king, he forbade his family members to give his sister to Krishna. Although they wanted to. Instead, Rukmi decided to give Rukmini to Shishupal. Purport. Rukmi abused his position as elder brother and acted with impure motives. He would only suffer for his decision. 26. Tadevetya sita pangi Vaidarbi durmanadrisham vichintyaptam dvijam kanchit Krishnaya pranina drunatam. Dark-eyed Vaidarbi, who is Rukmini, was aware of this plan, and it deeply upset her. Analyzing the situation, she quickly sent a trustworthy Brahmana to Krishna. 27. Dwarakam sa sambhaya yetya pratiharai praveshita apasyad ajam purusham asinam kanchachasane. Upon reaching Dwarka, the Brahmana was brought inside by the gatekeepers and saw the primeval personality of Godhead sitting on a golden throne. 28. Driswa Brahmanya Devastam Avaruya Nijasanat Upavesyarayaham Chakre Yatamanam Daivokasha. Seeing the Brahmana, Sri Krishna, Lord of the Brahmanas, came down from his throne and seated him. Then the Lord worshipped him just as he himself is worshipped by the demigods. 29. Tambuktak vatam srishtantam upagamya satam gati panina bim shrinam padav avyagrastam uprachata. After the Brahmana had eaten and rested, Sri Krishna, the goal of saintly devotees, came forward, and while massaging the Brahmana's feet with his own hands, he patiently questioned him as follows. 30. Kachidvijya varashreshta dharmaste vridasamata vartate nati krichrena santushta manasa sada. The Supreme Lord said, O best of exalted Brahmanas, are your religious practices sanctioned by senior authorities proceeding without great difficulty? Is your mind always fully satisfied? Purport. Here we have translated the word dharma as religious practice, although this does not fully convey the Sanskrit sense of the word. Krishna did not appear within a secular society. The people in Vedic times could hardly imagine a society that did not understand the need to obey God's law. Thus, to them, the word dharma conveyed a sense of duty in general. Higher principles prescribed duty, and so on. It was automatically understood that such duties were within a religious context. But religion in those days was not a specific aspect or department of life, but rather a guiding light for all activities. Irreligious life was considered demoniac, and God's hands was seen in everything. 31. Santusto yarhi varteta brahmano yena kenachit abhiyamana swadharmat syaya yakila kamaduk. When a Brahman is satisfied with whatever comes his way and does not fall away from his religious duties, those very religious principles become his desire cow, fulfilling all his wishes. 32. Asantusto sakra lokan apnotyapya sureshwara akinchano pisantoshta sete sarvanga vidvara. An unsatisfied Brahmana wanders restlessly from one planet to another, even if he becomes king of heaven. But a satisfied Brahmana, though he may possess nothing, rests peacefully, all his limbs free of distress. Purport. Those who are unsatisfied feel distress throughout their body, becoming subject to many diseases. A satisfied Brahmana, however, though he possess nothing, is peaceful and calm, and there is no distress within his body or mind. 33. Vipran swalabasan tushtan sadun bhuta suritanaman nirahankarina shantan namasye shirasaksakrit. I repeatedly bowed my head in respect to those Brahmanas who were satisfied with their lot. Sincere, saintly, prideless, and peaceful, they are the best well-wishers of all living beings. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami explains that swalabha also means achieving oneself, or in other words, self-realization. Thus, an advanced Brahmana is always satisfied with his spiritual understanding, never depending on material formalities or facilities. 34. Kachidva kushalam brahman rajato yasya hi praja sukham vasanti vishaye palyamana same priya. O Brahmana, is your king attending to your welfare? Indeed, that king in whose country the citizens are happy and protected is very dear to me. And 35. Yatastvam agato durgam nistiryeha yadichaya sarvam no bruyaguyam chet kim karyam karavamate. Translation. Whence have ye come, crossing the impassable sea, and for what purpose? Explain all of this to us, if it is not a secret, and tell us what we may do for you. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Srila Gurubhava Prabhuti Namane Shri Shri Vrindata Vihira Padapat Pankajadayane Prabhupada Nupadaya Namah Shri Gurubhava Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachayane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paswati Deshitayane. Thank you very much for going through all these verses. That's pretty lengthy. So, our very beginning process of Krishna consciousness, the very basics, is Shravana. That's the very first process, the very first step in the 9 processes of devotion service. Shravana, Kirtan, and Vishnu. So here, Rukmini Devi is actually perfecting that process of hearing and coming to the proper conclusion. You heard yesterday Maharaj was talking about choices, and a few days ago Mother Lakshmi Muni was talking about understanding, coming to the right conclusion. So this is a continuation from here on, that we heard there are many kings, there are many people who knew Lord Krishna. He was very popular, known throughout the land. And there are so many people who knew of him, knew of his activities, saw all that he has done, all his divine pastimes so far. But not everyone was able to conclude the proper conclusion. But Rukmini Devi is setting this divine example here of just by hearing, she has never seen Krishna or anything else other than hearing about his pastimes, and was able to come to the proper conclusion that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I want to surrender myself to him. So this is a very fine-tuned intelligence. Some may say, well, she's talking about wanting to marry him, wanting him to be her husband. But it's a transcendental Leela, and it's a very high level of surrender for one to be able to come to such a conclusion of wanting Krishna in that way. So, unless one is able to acquire this refined intelligence, then it becomes very difficult even in one's Krishna consciousness. We see in the 11th canto where Lord Chaitanya's advent is predicted. Krishna Varnam, to say Krishna, Sangopang Yashtra Parshadam, Yajner Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedsaha. It's described there that excuse me, one who is endowed with sufficient intelligence would worship the Lord and join the Sankirtan party. So these statements are there. So why is it that such statements are there? With all this vast Vedic knowledge is there. All the books are there. There's nothing short. Srila Prabhupada has given us everything that Krishna himself, through his empowered devotees, has established all these Vedic scriptures. So why then that such a statement has to be placed in the Bhagavatam? That only those who are endowed with sufficient intelligence would come to the proper conclusion. Thank you. So, it's definitely a reason for it, because it's the nature of the living entity, it's the nature of our very existence to be not straight in our thinking. It's one symptom of Kali Yuga. Even in the first canto, in the 8th chapter, the prayers and the teachings of Queen Kunti, she prayed like that. She said even the great sages and the great munis and transcendentalists can hardly understand you, my Lord, and what to speak of we women. She particularly used that word strayas, meaning woman. Generally, in the Vedic conclusion, and generally, not all cases, it's generally categorized women, children, and sudras are categorized together, indicating that a level of simplicity, level of not high and sophisticated life. But Queen Kunti was able to conclude properly. She was able to come to the right conclusion that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is the kind of intelligence that is predicted in the 11th canto, that kind of intelligence one needs to understand the Lord. So whilst all these big philosophical understanding are there and is necessary for preaching purposes, as far as we as devotees are concerned to develop our relationship with the Lord, what is more needed is our fine-tuned intelligence to come to the proper conclusion, to come to the right understanding. The other day, my wife and I were talking about music, and she was mentioning how there are some people are tone deaf, that with all, they can hear the tune over and over, you just can't carry it right because you're tone deaf. So then I was thinking that not only with music, but also in our practice, some of us, at least for myself, I'm tone deaf also, that with all I'm hearing these pastimes, hearing Bhagavatam class, all the facilities, the worshiping of the deity, the association of devotees, are here every day, over and over for years and years and years. Still, it's difficult for me to come to the proper conclusion of, okay, surrender fully. So it's also a level of being tone deaf. If we analyze ourselves, some of us may have that issue also. I can't say for others, I know for myself. So it's all a process that we have to go through, but we have to go through with a certain attitude, and Queen Kunti also described that in her string of verses. It says, only by sincere feeling can one approach you. So that's there. And then Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that only by the process of undivided devotion service can I be understood as I am. So all these conclusions are there, all these instructions are there, all these teachings are there. Now it's left to us to adopt it. If within our society or in the world at large, you see there's so many religious sects. Like even Christianity, just from the one little Bible, there's so many different conclusions. There are hundreds of different religious sects coming off of that, and each one of them has their own conclusions. There's some of them understand that one should be vegetarian, some understand that one should not, and they're all, there's so many different conclusions. Similarly, even within our Gaudiya Sampradaya, you find there are very many different conclusions are there also. So why is that all these conclusions are there? For one, it's a symptom of Kali Yuga, and we always tend to think in the monkey way rather than thinking in the cat way. Srila Prabhupada talks about this, that the cat takes his kitten in his jaws, and in that way the kitten felt totally dependent and is being carried safely. But the little monkey tries to jump on the back of the mother monkey, and like that they have to hold by their own strength, and sometimes they fall off. So, similarly in Krishna consciousness, the conclusion is one of dependence and sincerity. Like Srila Prabhupada told the devotees, I know it, even in his book with Radhanath Swami, he talks about he went all the way to India to search for a guru and search for spiritual life. And then he came back and Srila Prabhupada found him. So Srila Prabhupada said that if one is sincere, then Krishna would send the proper guide and send a guru to seek us out. We don't have to go and seek. We don't have to go. He said, none of you had to go all the way to India to search. I came here and to find you. So if we're sincere, the sincerity of purpose is there, then Krishna sends. And this, first of all, he sends the right type of intelligence. There's that saying, first you deserve, then you desire. Is that correct? I think so, yeah. First you deserve, then you desire. So once you're sincere, then you become deserving of the proper atmosphere. And then within that, you can desire spiritually. So, to be sincere, it calls for a lot of refined intelligence to able to come to the proper conclusion that to hear his philosophy, to hear about the Lord's pastimes, and to conclude. And so this is Rukmini's great qualification in this pastime, that she was able to conclude that out of all else, that Krishna should be her Lord. And when one does that, when one is able to follow in that footstep, then their actual spiritual life is secured. Srila Prabhupada tells of his own life. When he was a young man, his father used to invite so many sadhus to come to his home. And he had the opportunity to see so many sadhus and so many saintly persons. But he was not at all convinced about them. He wasn't attracted. He was not moved. So when his friend offered him to come and see this one sadhu, he said, "Oh, I've seen so many of them, and I'm not impressed." He said, "No, this one would actually change your heart. This one would actually prove to you differently." So then Prabhupada saw his Guru Maharaj. Immediately he surrendered. Immediately came to that conclusion that this is the right person. This is the bona fide sadhu. So that's the kind of intelligence that we're talking about. And one way of achieving that is Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita 4:34, Tad vidi pranipatena paripasnena sevaya, upadekshyanti te jnanam jnanina sattva darshana. Just learn the truth by approaching a bona fide spiritual master. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. So within our society, this whole atmosphere is created where we have so many dedicated devotees and followers of Srila Prabhupada that are giving us this opportunity. Like yesterday, we saw the wonderful ceremony of the initiation. It's an opportunity for these devotees to come into parampara, to be able to through service, tat vini pranipatena paripasnena sevaya, to offer respects and offer service. So this is the secret of success, to able to come to the proper conclusion through service, not through realized knowledge. Kunti Devi talked about this in her prayers. Not through this knowledge. People have very, very, very advanced scale of knowledge. Like I heard right now, there's one person in the Himalayas, somewhere there, every day he has the entire Bhagavatam memorized, every verse, and he's repeating it every day as so many people are coming and listening and repeating over and over and over. But they listen and they go. They listen and they go. So something is missing there. If one hears the Bhagavatam or one knows the Bhagavatam so perfectly, every verse can be memorized. But you cannot change the heart of someone who is listening. Then we have to understand that something is probably missing. I knew when I was little growing up, we joined our Hindu society. I was about 12 years old at the time, and we formed a youth group. I was the secretary of the youth group. So we organized a whole Bhagavad Saptaha, 7 days. Just 3 of us, we organized this whole program. And the older members of the Hindu society, just after this program, they kick us out from the church. They said, you people are going too fast, that we've been here for 50 years carrying on this puja and whatever, and you little kids coming and coming to a different conclusion and trying to do something else. So you're not qualified to be here, just kick us out. So the thing is that the idea is that, we have been carrying on this practice for years, and who are you to come to bring something to a different level? That is not the proper conclusion. We should remain like this. But that's not the conclusion of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is all about getting deeper and deeper into our practice, into our surrender, into the chanting, into the different aspects of devotional service, starting with Shravanam, hearing, which is the highlight of this Rukmini's approach here to the Lord, of hearing and surrendering. So immediately upon hearing, she immediately understands. Of course, we understand that she is the Lord's eternal consort. But this pastime is presented here in the Bhagavatam for a reason, not for Rukmini's sake, but for our sake, to understand what one should do and what one shouldn't do. And there are various topics that we covered here today, so I don't feel at all qualified to go into all of them. It would take a lot of time too. But towards the end, Krishna is talking about his preaching culture and respect and service to the Brahmanas, which is also one aspect of devotional life. Here he came down from the throne, he gave the Brahmana a proper seat, he was massaging his feet, washing his feet, giving proper rest, and showed the proper etiquette and respect for the heads of society, for the qualified Brahmanas. It's also instructive for us to do, like to take care of the devotees. Like yesterday was one example of a senior most devotee was here, and as usual, there is always so many devotees want to talk with him and try to, take his darshan meeting, including myself. And next thing we knew, no one took care of his belongings. So I immediately had to rush back to the temple and his very important documents and everything. Luckily they were still here. So things like that is like when the devotees come, or the saintly persons are here, if other devotees can learn that service attitude of take care of the needs or assist, then that becomes a great spiritual benefit. So it's part of seva. It might look like something very simple by just giving him the car towels or take care of his bag or whatever the case may be. But it's very, very instructive in our spiritual life, because that etiquette and that service attitude is what advances us in Krishna consciousness. Our society is not one of philosophy only. Our society is one of service. And this is what Bhakti Yoga means, is what devotional service means. To serve. Like here in our society, you find, there's so many devotees like serving on the altar and serving. If you ask them to come and sit and give a class and explain, they probably wouldn't be able to. But the service attitude is there. That inner conclusion is there. Service to the Lord, the proper respect for everyone, that's there. And once that's there, then we can understand that we are going in the right direction. So it's not always that we would have a high philosophical understanding or high philosophical ability to explain Krishna consciousness. But if we have this nature of surrender and purity of heart, then we can all be steered in the proper direction. Even within our Krishna consciousness movement, even here, sometimes you find there are different segments, or some people have a different conclusion. It's just the nature of Kali Yuga that these things happen. But it's required that we all try to be as sincere as possible and see things from a neutral point of view. So if we see things with a neutral heart and do not come to a conclusion before we experiment, like sometimes we say, do not put the cart in front of the horse, or do not put the cart in front of the donkey. So if you put a cart in front and a donkey behind, then it doesn't go. The donkey has to be in front. So, in other words, we experiment first, we listen, and we have a very open heart, and then we can come to the right conclusion. Like there is this popular story with this philosopher who went to India, and they saw all these different worship of the Lord, and all the demigod worship, so many different. And then, I don't know if it's a he or she, but concluded that Krishna must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By the way things were, because everyone, they were doing something, they were fighting, they were serving, but Krishna was just playing his flute. So that was like the right intelligence, like they were very fine-tuned. That person didn't say, well, I'm from a Christian background, then I'm going to start thinking negative of different religious aspects or anything like that. They came with a very, very neutral, very open heart and investigated and then come to the proper conclusion. So that is what is required for us as devotees. So if we can sincerely listen to these pastimes and apply that simplicity and sincerity of heart, and also try to adopt proper culture within our society, then we can able to create a better atmosphere here amongst ourselves for personal benefit and for others who are coming, to show that respect, to show that atmosphere of very cultured life. Actually, the other day, I think it was Mother Nanda was giving class, and for some reason I had to go home, or I had to get some work done before I go off to work. So I went home and put on the internet. So I was watching and listening to class on Krishna.com. And then I called my wife and said, just come and see this disgusting scene here. So here Mother Nanda was, sitting, nice, wonderful devotee giving his class. The camera is like right in this direction. And so you can see the background. So the camera, it's like so many seconds of photo shoots. And what you saw right behind is a bunch of shoes all scrambled. And people are watching in Alachua, people watch all over the internet. So what a picture does that give? Just behind, I know Lord Chaitanya, I think when he was preaching to Prakashananda Saraswati, he was sitting on a pile of shoes or something. But I don't think Lord Chaitanya wants us to do that now, to have shoes in as our background and lecture. So that's one thing of an idea of how more that we have to apply ourselves in cultured life, that to understand and okay, at least when we come, we put our shoes nicely, or at least not behind the speaker that would shoot right over the internet and the world watches. And that's just one idea. So sometimes when we see things from different angles, we can be able to pick up. I know here, like, I find myself, and I saw Nagaraj Prabhu also, we would walk around picking up a piece of paper, especially on Monday mornings after the Sunday feast. We pick up all the papers and throw it in the garbage and people come, they would see a nice atmosphere. They would not think less of our society. Srila Prabhupada once, he showed his gratitude to a very, very great extent. It was after a Ratha Yatra festival, and the next morning he went off to the airport, about to leave. So all the devotees were there, and Srila Prabhupada turned around, he recognized all the devotees, and he said, one person is missing. Where is Jayananda Prabhu? So they said, oh, he's back at the park picking up the paper and cleaning up. And then Prabhupada said something to the effect that he's really, a sincere person, that he's thinking of the future of our society, that he's thinking of the reputation that we would get. And he said that you have to go and bring him. He said, I would not leave without my Jayananda. And if I remember well, he actually lost that flight, but he decided he's not going to leave until he see my Jayananda. So, that's one thing that what Jayananda Prabhu, he was thinking of, the way our society would present itself, that culture, what presentation we are going to have. So that was his association. That was his association with Srila Prabhupada. Actually, lately, sometimes devotees call me for talking about Ratha Yatra, and one devotee was mentioning to me about he was first introduced to Krishna consciousness. One day Jayananda Prabhu called him. He said, let us go out and work on the Ratha Yatra cart. And he said, no, I want to offer obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, because Prabhupada had just come. And he said Jayananda Prabhu told him something that shocked him, and he never forgot unto this day. He said, real obeisances to the spiritual master is carrying out his orders and instructions. So immediately he went. So that's like another aspect of really fine-tuned intelligence, to understand these different aspects of spiritual life. So I'm kind of going over time, so I don't want to go anymore. I'll stop here. If anyone has any questions or comments, we can take them. All right. So is there a question? Oh, Trivikram Prabhu, you had a question? Is someone over there has a question? No. Okay, Trivikram Prabhu.
Sometimes the medicine can be a little bitter, but that's what good for our. It may sound a little bit unpalatable sometimes, but we should all take it with a good feeling that it would bring about the cure, and especially this fallen age. And like earlier when you were saying that how the women are being equated and so, but the whole world has the misconception that everyone is equal. You see, spiritually we're all equal, but on a different platform, and that equality is not there really. And unless we're able to understand this properly, then there'd be serious havoc in society, and that is definitely taking place.
Yeah, I was speaking on a spiritual platform of the equality of dedication of devotional service. And that is certainly there. Basically, within the context of our society, we see everyone has the equal opportunity to serve. And those who take advantage of that opportunity to serve, we can see how they have excelled in their spiritual life, man, woman, or child. One time Srila Prabhupada was walking around the temple, and what's his name? Vishnu Jan Swami was in the Kirtan, was in the temple doing a really lovely Kirtan, as he always do. And so one of the devotees walking with Srila Prabhupada said, oh Srila Prabhupada, just see how much mercy you have given to Vishnu Jan Swami. And he turned around and he said, I'm giving my mercy to everyone, but he took it. So that's our position, that we have to take what is being given to us here in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada has given us everything. There's nothing short. He given us the philosophy. He given us the deity to worship, the devotional service, the chanting. He given us the other devotees so we can associate with. And by Krishna's arrangement or Kali Yuga's arrangement, whatever, we have good examples and bad examples. We have good examples that we should take and follow. We have bad examples that we should see and understand that we shouldn't do that. So it's a complete package is here. Actually, one of my godbrothers called me some time back, and they said, Alachua here is a complete package, that you have the best of examples and you have some bad examples also, and everything in between. So you can see and you can take the good examples and you can see the bad examples and not to follow that. So it gives us an eye-opening effect. So all of us, we have the equal opportunity. We have seen even some very young devotees taking Krishna consciousness seriously, and they're doing so well. And every range, man, woman, and child. So it's up to us to actually take it and go from there. And as sincere as we can become, and how much effort we can make, that's the reward we're going to get. I know it's definitely better, and especially in Kali Yuga, and especially in this part of the world too, where sense gratification is the highlight of everything. It becomes very difficult for us. Sometimes we can't even conclude, is this the right thing? That's another symptom of Kali Yuga. We cannot understand when one is giving us good advice or when one is giving bad advice, when one is giving us good association or when one is giving us bad association. Sometimes it's kind of difficult. I think it was 2002, 2004 sometime, Jadwaita Maharaj was talking about that. I think right here he was talking a little bit about, what is devotees association, stuff like that. So I'm not going to get into that as a whole other topic, but basically, yeah, so we have the opportunity to serve, and it's up to us to take it. Not all of us may be able to do everything, but some we can take a little bit. We can serve in a certain capacity. We can engage in devotion service within our capacity and try to strive forward. I think the second to last class that Hridayananda Maharaj gave here, he said devotional service is like an exercise. Like when you go to work out, every day you try to do a little more to stretch your muscles. So beyond what your present ability is, he said Krishna consciousness is a similar thing. That we try to stretch a little beyond what our comfort zone. And that's where a lot of us have problems, to step out of our comfort zone. Myself, I know I have that problem to a very large extent, to try to step out of my comfort zone to do something more beyond what I'm doing. So that's the exercise, that's the workout that we have to put. And whether one be a big scholar or very simple, one that cleans the bathroom in the temple, that workout is meant for everyone, and the sincerity can be applied in both cases. So, anything else? Oh, Mother Mahatma?
I just want to thank you for those 2 points that you mentioned, the respect and the neatness the respect and the neatness of the temple surroundings. In Silicon Valley Temple, they ask every devotee to pick up their mats and put them orderly in the back, or the chairs or everything. And that's something that you might think is primitive, because we should know that already, but still we don't know it. And the other comment I wanted to say is about Maharaj. Fortunately, he was in Alachua, where nobody steals or takes anything from anybody else. But in Cuba, he mentioned yesterday that they took his beads, his Prabhupada's beads, the beads that Prabhupada chanted.
Yes, so sometimes it's expected that we understand these basic levels of culture, but if it's not there, then we have to repeat it. Just see, like sometimes I felt extremely embarrassed when Mother Mukhe has to, make announcements about bringing back the plates or, things like that. Imagine, I'm just listening and I'm feeling so bad. Imagine how bad she's feeling having to mention such things. But the reason why is because, it's everyone should have understand those basic aspects of morality, not even spiritual life, of morality, that we should understand that. But it's not happening, so therefore, it has to be mentioned. So it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate. So, this is Kali Yuga. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't make the best effort to do it. We as an individual, we can make the effort to at least do our part. Like on my boss's desk, he has a little plaque that says, if a man tries his best, then what else is there? So it's the onus is on us to try our best, to do the best we can to uphold the integrity and the standard of our own Krishna consciousness and our society. So it's an individual thing and it's a collective thing, both. Thank you very much. Anything else? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.